So on this video, I want to talk about why do we freeze in the moment? Why do we freeze when we want to get something done? Why do we freeze when we want to take action? Now, this doesn't apply to everybody, but it applies to quite a lot of business owners who get in their own way, hold back, freeze in the moment. We'll talk about what is self-sabotage, and why do we put stuff off? Great question. So we'll come to that towards the end of the video. So why do we freeze? You're going to love my diagrams today. And this is you, or me, or anybody else who freezes. And we have two little parts of the brain. Names are irrelevant. It's constantly looking for danger. And when we're a wee nipper, or a small child, we still look for danger. The part of our brain which looks for anything bad, anything negative, anything that it doesn't understand. And if things happen to us, or we see something bad, or we don't understand something in the moment, well, it starts to enter into the brain. And in this little ball there, which I'm highlighting, it starts to fill up with all the experiences that we see from being a little child. Well, this ball starts to fill up with all these experiences and it becomes full. So all these experiences start to filter down into the body, until the body says this is too much, this is enough, and the nervous system slams on the brakes, slams the anchors on, shuts down because there's too much that it can't deal with, that it can't understand. Now, the nervous system controls pretty much every aspect of our body, all our muscles and how everything works. So we freeze because we are overloaded. We've been overloaded, maybe, since we were little Jimmy, little Sandra, whatever you want to call them. And that's just grown bigger and bigger with all these experiences that we face. All this information fills our little brains up. Now, this information has to go somewhere because this information doesn't stop. The brain's constantly filtering all this negative stuff out. Well, it tries to, but it just sends it into the body. And it's a reason why one of the reasons why we get autoimmune diseases. IBS. Some forms of IBD or stomach problems. It's why we get chronic pain, why we can get chronic pain. Obviously, this is a generic look. So we freeze because our nervous system doesn't know what to do. And it's overpowered, let's say, so it shuts down. Now, what is sabotage? Well, sabotage is our unconscious mind which is the deepest part of our brain, the unconscious, saying, this isn't safe. Let's do something what the brain understands. Let's do something that I understand. So it gets in our way, thinking that it's doing our body a favour, thinking that it's doing us a favour, thinking that it's doing our business a favour. When quite often it's given us anxiety, stress, sleepless nights, So the unconscious mind thinks it's doing us a favour by shutting down the nervous system, by getting in our own way. But this creates more problems. So you see the loop. Now this is all controlled underneath the surface in our emotional brain, our unconscious, subconscious emotional brain. What does that mean? Well, it means that the brain's got two sides. Of course, the left side and the right side. The left side is your logical brain. This portion just here as an example. The right side is your emotional. Brain. And of course it has other functions alongside. So when we try and logic our way out of sabotage, we can't, because we're battling our emotional brain. Emotions that have been locked into the body. Now, no amount of talking therapy, no amount of words, descriptions, ideas is going to pull all the stuff that's been locked in our body out again. So part of my program that I work with on the Neural Clarity Code is diving deep into your emotional brain, which locks away all the free states, the things that you face through life, the things that have shut off your system to an extent. And we start to reverse the process. What does reversing the process look like? Well, great question. It creates clarity. The body moves into peace, which allows action taking. Action taking leads to money, improved relationships, better health, better business models in general. So just by taking the emotional aspects, the things that have been locked away inside our body, back out of our body again, releasing the nervous system, we allow ourselves, our body, to breathe again. This is not woo-woo. This is biochemistry, biology, neuroscience, the subconscious work combined. It's what I spent 25 years developing into the Neural Clarity Code, which deals with all aspects of those. If you are interested in working together, there's a one-to-one link in the description below. And we come to our final point. Why do we put stuff off? Great question. We put stuff off because we don't want to face our emotions. Those emotions that have been locked away, as we talked about right at the beginning, through life, that we've seen, that we've felt, that we've heard, that we've not understood, we've shut them away in a little box. Don't want to deal with them, don't know how to deal with them. So the body holds on to them. When the body is allowed to process and complete the loop of these old emotions, we allow ourselves to take action. Progress is not in putting stuff off. We put stuff off because we don't want to deal with the stuff that we've never actually dealt with. Now, I've created an idea, a program around how to deal with stuff without having to dive into that stuff that we don't want to dive into. We don't want to talk our way back into trauma. We don't want to have to describe our old traumas again. That was one of the key things that I didn't want to do. So if you're interested in looking at this work in more depth, jump on a one-to-one call. I hope you've taken some value from this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.